Elon Musk claims a massive DDoS attack delayed his live stream with Donald Trump. Patreon will have to use Apple's in-app purchase system or it will be removed from the App Store. And the Indie Horror Showcase gaming event will return in October. It's Tuesday, August 13th, and this is Engadget News. X's live streaming infrastructure appears to have failed once again at a high-profile moment for the company. X owner Elon Musk was supposed to be interviewing Donald Trump live on Spaces beginning at 8 p.m. Eastern on Monday, but the stream repeatedly crashed and was completely inaccessible to many users. Musk claimed that the failure was due to a massive DDoS, or Distributed Denial of Service attack, on X, and that the company tested the system with 8 million concurrent listeners earlier in the day. Instead, only a smaller number of people were able to listen to the conversation live. As of 8:30 p.m. Eastern, the live stream had yet to begin. Crashed, unable, and Twitter blackout trended on the platform. Those who were able to join the stream were greeted with about a half hour of hold music, followed by several minutes of total silence. The live stream finally started at 8:40 p.m. Eastern. Musk said all of our data lines, like basically hundreds of gigabytes of data, were saturated. We think we've overcome most of that. Musk did not explain how a DDoS attack could only target one specific feature on the service without affecting other aspects of X's app or website. It's not the first time a high-profile live stream on Spaces has run into technical difficulties. Last year, Ron DeSantis attempted to announce his short-lived presidential bid during a live conversation with Musk on X, but that stream was also delayed after repeated crashes. Musk at the time said that Twitter's servers were kind of melting. Musk's biographer later reported that the issues were a result of months of instability within Twitter's systems, after Musk instructed his cousins to hastily dismantle one of the company's data centers. Apple takes a lot of strong positions, but their ultimate hill to die on might just be requiring apps to make purchases through the tech giant. The latest example comes from Patreon, which announced that Apple is requiring it to switch over to the iOS in-app purchase system or risk expulsion. Patreon's entire purpose is to allow creators to offer patrons memberships in exchange for content. While some tiers are unpaid, creators offer paid options to make money, something this shift could impact. Patreon users need to know about two main changes. By this November, all creators can only offer a subscription-based plan on iOS, as the App Store does not support other formats, such as first-of-the-month or per-creation plans. As a result, Patreon is rolling out a 16-month-long migration process that will shift all memberships to subscriptions by November 2025. At that point, subscription-based plans will be the only option available, unfortunately proving Apple's far-reaching power. Apple will also be taking a 30% cut on all subscriptions made on the Patreon iOS app after November of this year, something it's done for Patreon in-app commerce purchases since early this year. Patreon has designed a tool that allows creators to increase their prices on the iOS app and leave them as is on the browser site and Android devices. However, creators can turn it off if they'd rather leave their rates as is. The Indie Horror Showcase event is returning on October 24th. This is a celebration of upcoming nightmarish games made by developers throughout the world and will be hosted by DreadXP, an indie publisher responsible for well-received games like The Mortuary Assistant and Sucker for Love. The upcoming streaming event promises loads of cool new indie horror from both DreadXP and plenty of third-party developers. As a matter of fact, submissions are open to anyone, just in case you've been tooling around with something particularly frightening. There were some noteworthy games discussed during last year's event. These included the now iconic Slay the Princess and the supernatural phone operator sim Home Safety Hotline. Other standouts from last year included Numata and Janet DeMoray is a slumlord and a witch. Dread XP says that last year's showcase featured more than 60 trailers and announcements. This year's event should fall somewhere in that range. The publisher has not given any indication as to which titles to be on the lookout for this year, but submissions are still open until September 16th. It has promised announcements and trailers from developers of all sizes in the indie horror scene. Dread XP has yet to announce a premiere time for the stream. One game that will likely get an update is Paranormal Activity Found Footage. This title leverages the found footage format from many horror movies and brings it to gaming. Dread XP is behind the spooky adaptation, and it's scheduled for release in 2026. Thanks for listening. There's more to these stories and additional articles at Engadget.com. This episode featured journalism from senior editor Carissa Bell and contributors Sarah Fielding and Lawrence Bonk, and was voiced and produced by me, Steve White, from the boutique sound studios of Spoken Layer. Enjoy your day, and I'll be back tomorrow with more tech news from Engadget.